Where did COVID really come from? The truth behind SARS CoV-2.
What if I told you the trail of one of the biggest public health crises in our lifetimes begins in a dark cave full of bats? And yet, that origin still hides secrets. The virus that launched the COVID-19 pandemic, SARS CoV-2, may have slipped from animals into humans, or perhaps emerged in some other way. We still don't know for sure. In New Zealand, this question might feel distant, yet it matters deeply. Understanding how the pandemic began helps us prevent the next one, protect our freedoms, and knowing where it came from still matters today. So let's step back in time, follow the clues, question what we think we know, and ask, does the origin of COVID still really matter? The clues beneath the surface. Late in 2019, doctors in Wuhan, China began reporting strange pneumonia cases that did not behave like seasonal flu or anything the world had seen. Scientists quickly identified a new coronavirus, SARS CoV-2, and the disease COVID-19 exploded across the globe in months. But where did this virus come from? One major line of thought: a zoonotic spillover, a virus jumping from animals into humans. Many coronaviruses follow exactly that pattern, and current reviews conclude the evidence leans strongly toward a natural animal origin. The zoonotic hypothesis explained, think of zoonosis like a relay race. Virus lives in wildlife, for example bats. It hands off to an intermediate animal, then jumps to humans. In this kind of scenario, humans are the final runner. For SARS CoV-2, bats are the likely reservoir host. Viruses very similar to SARS CoV-2 have been found in bat species. But scientists still haven't located the exact intermediate animal, or the precise moment of spillover. A 2024 study described how researchers analyzed animal DNA at a wildlife market in Wuhan and found DNA consistent with susceptible species sold there, suggesting the market may have been an amplification point. The lab leak hypothesis. A rival idea. The other major hypothesis contends that SARS CoV-2 could have emerged from a laboratory accident. Perhaps a virus collected in a research lab escaped, or was inadvertently spread. While many researchers consider a lab origin less likely than a natural spillover, the hypothesis remains part of the debate. A 2025 report by the World Health Organization expert panel said the weight of evidence suggests zoonotic spillover, although crucial data remain missing, and a lab origin cannot be definitively ruled out. The reality is, the origin remains unproven, like a missing chapter in a book that already changed the world. Why the origin still matters, even in New Zealand? You might wonder, why does the origin of COVID in Wuhan matter for me? Good question. First, if a virus can spill over from animals into humans, it means the next pandemic could start similarly. In New Zealand, surveillance, biosecurity, border measures, wildlife trade, and One Health, human-animal environment systems, are vital. Knowing how SARS CoV-2 emerged helps us shore up those defenses. Second, it influences public trust. When people understand how pandemics start, they're more likely to support quick action, vaccination, tracking, and mitigation strategies. Third, the long tail of COVID is still here: variants, immunity, global interconnection. Origin is part of the story of how we got here, what we do know and what we don't. Here are the key facts. SARS CoV-2 likely emerged no later than late 2019, and the first case clusters appeared in China. The global ripple and NZ's risk lens. When the pandemic hit, New Zealand closed borders, locked down, and achieved a different outcome than many countries, delaying widespread community transmission, buying time. But the fact remains, in a world of global travel, a virus emerging in one part of the world can reach us in days. That's why knowing how it emerged matters. It supports efforts to monitor wildlife, regulate trade, strengthen labs, and maintain strong surveillance systems. For New Zealand's Maori communities, Rimus and remote populations, and our island nation vulnerabilities, the strength of the first line of defense depends partly on origin knowledge. Does the exact origin change how we respond now? Another big question. In 2025, with vaccines, treatments, and knowledge in hand, does it still matter where COVID came from? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because understanding origins helps reduce risk of future pandemics and helps tailor our readiness. For example, if wild animal markets are confirmed as key drivers, then stricter regulation globally becomes urgent. If research labs play a role, then lab safety and transparency get spotlighted. No, in the sense that for everyday New Zealanders, the immediate priorities are managing current variants, safeguarding healthcare, supporting vaccination and booster campaigns, and reducing long COVID burdens. So origin is one piece of the frame, not the whole picture. Analogy time. The wildfire and its spark. Picture a forest. You see the wildfire blazing. You fight the fire. You evacuate people. You rebuild. But you also go back and ask, what sparked it? Was it a lightning strike? A cigarette butt? A spark from a machine? Because if you don't know the spark, you risk another blaze. The COVID pandemic is the fire. We've fought it. But if we don't ask and answer how it began, we remain vulnerable to the next forest fire. In New Zealand, our brush is dry, our climate is changing, and our forest fire risk is high. Metaphorically speaking, so is our pandemic risk. That's why we investigate the spark. Looking ahead, what NZ needs to watch. For New Zealand and globally, here are key areas. Wildlife surveillance, especially in bats and other mammals. Monitoring trade in live animals and biosecurity at borders. Ensuring high standards of lab safety and transparency in research. And a strong One Health approach, linking human health, animal health, and environment. Also, maintaining pandemic-ready infrastructure, testing, tracing, vaccination, ICU capacity. The origin story of SARS CoV-2 is a masterclass in why investment in those systems matters. And it's not just retrospective, it's forward-looking. Human-scale reflection. So here we are, a virus that changed the world, whose first human infection may have happened by accident or by nature's method, we still don't know for sure. But whether we ever nail the final piece, the journey of asking the questions matters. For a New Zealand viewer, a citizen, a parent, a teacher, this is not distant science. It's about our global connection, our preparedness, our collective resilience. The origin of COVID really matters because the next time something like this happens, knowing the spark will help extinguish the flame before it roars. Stay curious, stay prepared. And remember, our future health may hinge on the questions we ask today.
That's it for today. I'm Lu Tsen, and this is your Health Decoded NZ. Clarity unlocked, so you can make sense of the facts and see the differences for yourself. Please remember to subscribe and feel free to leave a comment.